The year was 1947. The war was over, babies were booming, and all men wore hats all the time. I knew she was troubled the minute she walked in my door. She said she had a case for me. She was a fan of 1940s noir and wanted to know if it had been done in any kind of modern setting. I decided to take the case. I'm a critic. It says so on my door. I figured if there's anybody who'd know about noir, it'd be a mystery writer. So let's take a look at Castle, the Blue Butterfly. Our story opens in the standard way, at a murder site. Castle's been working with the precinct for about 4 years now, and he's fallen for the feisty detective hard.
Talk about a slice of history. The Pennybaker Club. You know, back in the 40s, all the greats played here. If these walls could talk, man, the stories they would tell.
Yeah, but the only story we need to hear is about
Stan Banks, single GSW to the sternum, recalling the time of death between 6 and 8 this morning. Looks like he tried to defend himself with this. Obviously, it didn't work. So robbery gone wrong?
Well, still had his wallet, cell, and a room key from the Parksville Arms, so...
Pockets were pulled out, indicating the killer searched the body. For what, we have no idea.
Seems the stiff was an amateur treasure hunter. They figured he got found what was looking for it and got popped for it. Among his effects is a diary from the 1940s. The Castle finds it interesting.
This diary in Stan's stuff, it's also from the 40s. It sounds like it belonged to a private eye. Listen to this. Usually wives turn on the waterworks when shown pictures of their husbands stepping out. But not this dame. She wanted payback. So what's worse, that I pitched woo with a client, or that I invoiced her for services rendered after?
cute.
Cute? And this guy sounds like a hard-boiled PI right out of a Raymond Chandler novel. June 18th, 1947. The day began like every other. Pulling awake in my office chair with a cream of Kentucky bottle, a dry throat, and a head that was ringing like church bells. So, I figured I'd kill two birds with one stone with the little hair of the dog that bit me.
Damn it, Mr. Flynn. I have an apartment where you drink yourself to sleep in the office every night.
That way I'm never late for work. Say, what gives anyhow?
We have a potential client. So nice. I'd like to make next month's rent, if you don't mind. All right.
How do I look?
Like a star.
Just another day on the Isle of Manhattan, until she walked in, with a case that changed my life. Wearing T-strap shoes and a country suit, I could tell that redhead was a hick fresh off the cuff.
Well, my name's Sally McQueen. I mean, Schofield. Sorry, I'm a newlywed, still getting used to the name.
Joe Flynn, Mrs. Schofield. So tell me, what has you knocking on my shingle?
I talked to my husband honeymooning up here in the Big Apple, but not because I wanted to climb skyscrapers and see Broadway shows. I had myself another reason. See, I'm looking for my big sister Vera McQueen. There was bad blood back home, and Vera ran off 2 years ago with dreams of being a showgirl up here in the big city.
She send you a wire, postcard, anything with a return address?
Can you find it, mister? Mama's sick and, doesn't have long.
Well, of course he can. $15 a day plus expenses.
Only, can we keep this quiet? Like I said, there's bad blood back home, and if Vera hears from a stranger and family's looking for her, it might push her father away.
Mrs. Schofield, if I'm anything, I'm discreet. And that's when I saw her. Looking at that photograph, all I could think was, what a beautiful doll. Sally said Vera had dreams of being a showgirl. Maybe she made it. Stranger things have happened in this town. My last stop was the Pennybaker Club. Say, maybe you can help me. I'm looking for a date.
Aren't we all?
It's been special, you know?
No. I'm looking at her.
coolest mob boss New York has ever given birth to. Dempsey sent over two of his guerrillas, an Irishman and a Cuban on loan from some Havana mob family.
The boss wants to see you, boyo.
Sorry, boys. The dance card's full.
This isn't the request, compadre.
There I was, covered in the discards of the blue plate special, asking myself, was it worth it? It was. She was worth every punch.
Are you hurt?
What, this? Steph, you should see what my face did to the other guy's fist.
So what's your name, tough guy?
Does it matter, Dom?
Vera, ¿qué pasando? You know you're not supposed to leave our site with the boss's hardware on.
The blue butterfly. It's a necklace. That's why Stan Banks was killed. Why am I narrating?
Seems the guy who got plugged, his wife had got some letter from a guy who was threatening him over money. They figured that might have been the motive for his murder. Castle shows up and reveals there's more to it than they think.
Who's there about the blue butterfly? It's a necklace, a butterfly-shaped centerpiece made entirely of blue diamonds, worth about $1 million easy.
Where are you getting all of this?
From the B.I.'s diary.
So Stan was on a treasure hunt.
Exactly. Did a little research. Turns out the blue butterfly disappeared sometime in the 40s, and rumor has it, it's hidden somewhere in the Pennybaker Club. If he found it, $1 million necklace? Talk about motive for murder. By the way, I bet that's where he got the steel rod, which is probably what he used to pry open the secret safe.
Hate to burst bubbles, Castle, but this hasn't held anything in years. Looks like Stan was disappointed.
Yeah, he probably would have been if that was the secret safe.
That's not the secret safe?
Here's a fun fact. People often kept two safes. One that was easy to find for minor valuables, and a second safe was much harder to locate for the extra specials, like blue butterflies.
Castle, where's the secret safe?
Coming to that. So it's 5 days since Joe and Vera met, and they were very much in love.
After only 5 days? Come on.
Well, people didn't waste time back in the 40s. Matter of fact, they were so much in love, they risked it all.
You gotta get me away from here, Joe. Away from Dempsey, away from all of it.
Well, yeah, and go where? We can blow this town, sure. Only how far are we gonna get when we're both flat broke?
We're not broke, Joe. We've got all the money we need and more around my neck. All we gotta do is take it away with us.
What are you, daffy? You got at least 2 Burnals with you at all times when you're wearing that thing.
It's funny. Back when I was a cigarette girl, I'd watch Dempsey coming in with his girlfriend wearing this thing around her neck, and I wanted it. Pretty soon I was his girl and I had it. But it's not a necklace, Joe. It's a diamond noose. It's getting harder to breathe. And?
That's it. That was the last entry in the diary.
What do you mean that's it? What happened to Joe? What happened to Vera?
I don't know.
Why would you tell a story when you don't know the ending?
If you wanted a beginning and a middle and an end, I have 27 novels you can choose from.
Okay, so where is this secret safe?
I don't know. But I think Stan must have found it. Maybe that's why he needed that rod. Pry open a wall or something.
Castle, look at the molding. It's unlocked.
Stan found it. That's why he was killed. But by whom?
Right on Ernest Bazile, bringing the guy who sent him the threatened letter, turns out he was a bookie who was acting as his partner in hopes he might be able to find the mysterious blue butterfly. The alibi's out, but there's more information about the gun used to kill the guy.
Look, Castle, I admit that Joe and Vera's story is fun and romantic, but whatever happened back in 1947 has nothing to do with who murdered Stan.
I'm not so sure about that. Our bookie alibied out, but ballistics came in and we got a match. The .38 caliber revolver that killed Stan was used in an unsolved double homicide in 1947.
I knew there was a connection.
Who were the victims?
Some lady named Vera Mulqueen and a private detective named Joe Flynn.
Murdered. That's too bad. I always thought those 2 crazy kids were gonna make it.
Yeah, not exactly the ending I was hoping for.
I didn't even know ballistics went back that far.
Oh yeah, since the 20s.
Being as an old case, there's not much in the system. Remains of Joe Flynn and Vera Mulqueen were found in Flynn's car. It was parked in the alley of the Pennybaker Club. Both victims were shot with a .38 revolver. The car was set on fire. Only suspect was Tom Dempsey, but there was never enough evidence to arrest.
You know, I bet you Dempsey caught the two of them trying to run away together and he killed them. But how does Stan's killer get Dempsey's gun 60 years later?
Unless Dempsey killed Stan. He'd be, what, like 90 years old, but it's still possible.
Couldn't have been Dempsey. He died of a heart attack 4 months after Joe and Vera were killed. Still, we should dig up that 1947 police report. There could be something in there about the gun that could shed some light on Stan's murder.
Further investigation of the case reveals us a deposition from the secretary of Joe on what may have happened that fateful night.
This is a statement from Joe's secretary, Mrs. Kennard, was taken right after his death. Mrs. Florence Kennard, secretary to the victim, Joe Flynn, attested to bear witness to the following conversation between both victims on the morning of June 24th, 1947. I've worked this from every angle, Tom. There's no way we can crack Dempsey's secret safe.
Then how are we gonna get it?
Easy. You're gonna walk right out the door with me tonight.
How? It was hard enough shaking Dempsey's hatchetman this morning. It's gonna be that much harder when I'm wearing the blue butterfly.
It'll be a cakewalk. Trust me. Especially with our friend Jimmy Doyle helping us out.
And who's Jimmy Doyle?
He's a prize fighter. And tonight he's taking on Sugar Ray Robinson for the welterweight title.
So,
every Clover-loving Irishman with the sub will be huddled around the radio tonight cheering good old Jimmy on. We're gonna wait till a rousing part of the fight. Then you can excuse yourself. Whoever's assigned to be watching you surely won't be paying much attention. That's when you slip right out the back door, where I'll be waiting for you.
Joe, it's perfect.
No, it's crazy. What are you thinking, Mr. Flynn? And I can tell you, this Jane's no good.
Now what are you on about? Look at me. I'm a new man. I'm a better man. I haven't even had a drink since I met Vera, and if that's not a minor miracle, I don't know what is.
You would be better off with the booze than with this Jimmy. And what are you basing a relationship on, huh? A robbery and a lie?
What lie?
Well, I guess it's time to come clean, huh? Look, Doc, it's no coincidence I met you in the club that night. I was hired to come find you, see? And I couldn't tell you who. It's just,
Cut the corners, Joe. Who hired you?
who's your sister?
Joe, I don't have a sister.
What happens next?
I don't know. That's the end of the statement.
But if Sally wasn't Vera's sister, then who was she?
Sally set up the PI. It's a classic film noir twist.
Why?
I don't know.
What was Sally up to?
I don't know.
Do you think she was connected to Dempsey?
I don't know. It was great.
They seem to have hit a dead end. Then the grandson of Dempsey, the guy who owned the club back in the 40s, shows up trying to break into Stan's apartment.
Look, Stan came to me and he told me his name was Nathaniel Jenkins. He said he was a biographer, said he wanted to do a story about my grandfather. He promised not to focus on his underworld dealings, just on the good stuff. Like how my granddad was a pillar of the community.
More like a killer of the community.
And so when he made his pitch, you, wanting to rehabilitate your family name, cooperated.
Yeah. I gave him access to all granddad's old papers and everything was cool. Till I found out the whole thing was a lie.
And who's to that?
There was a singer who used to headline at my granddad's club, Betsy Sinclair. A couple weeks ago, she passed away. Now, I went there to pay my respects, and little I see there, but Nathaniel chatting up this old guy. He sees me, jets out the back. I'm like, what the hell is this for? So I looked in the desk book. I figured it out. He'd signed his real name, Stan Banks.
Which is when you figured out he wasn't really a biographer.
It was just another low-life treasure hunter looking for the blue butterfly.
And if anybody deserved the blue butterfly, it was you, right? So you followed Stan. And when Stan found him, you shot him.
I did not shoot him. Stan did find him.
Come on, you tell us.
I don't know. I was not there. I read in the newspaper that the guy was dead. I went to his apartment to see what I could find. And I didn't kill the guy.
The one folk that Stan was talking to at the funeral may have some further information.
Did you mention a necklace called the Blue Butterfly?
Oh, sure. Ask me all kinds of questions. Where it might be, stuff like that.
Now, this might seem like a long question, but in 1947, do you remember when Vera Mulqueen and Joe Flynn were murdered?
Of course. Big deal back then. Yes, she was. Dropped into cold blood.
Same year, you remember a woman named Sally Schofield? She was a redhead. In 1947, she would have been about 18.
Oh, I think I know who you're talking about. That's back in 46. I just got hired at the Pentagon. Dempsey wasn't dating Vera back then. He was going with a gal named Priscilla Campbell. Priscilla had a daughter. Redhead, named Sally. Sounds like she's the one you need. Sad story of what happened. Not long after Vera caught Dempsey's eye, he dropped Priscilla and cut her and Sally off cold. They said it was the curse of the blue butterfly. Priscilla killed herself with a handful of pills.
And Sally?
A couple months after Vera and that PI got whacked, Dempsey died of a heart attack. The evening of his funeral, he walked Sally home dressed up, ordered a whiskey neat, slammed it back, gave me a big old crocodile grin, said she was free. And she strutted on out the door, and that's the last time I ever saw her.
It's a revenge story. Sally blamed Vera for the death of her mother, so she plotted to take her down. Somehow, she used the PI to do it.
At the murder scene, there was a squatter's nest, but it wasn't your typical vagrant. Now, it turns out this guy had actually been paid off by someone else to allow him to squat there, presumably to find out if Stan had actually found what he was looking for. Wouldn't you know it? Turns out to be a very famous treasure hunter who spent years trying to find the blue butterfly, and thus a pretty good motive for murder.
Stan came to me and asked for my research on the blue butterfly.
And you said no?
Of course I said no. I searched for that necklace for 15 years and no one was supposed to help him. The glory was to be mine.
But you knew he was onto something, didn't you?
Oh, yes. I could tell he was close, so very close. Stan knew things about the club, about the necklace that I had never heard before.
So you staked out the club, and when Stan showed you, shot him?
I didn't shoot him, Detective. Yes, I had a pistol with me and a bow. They're my trademarks. Everyone knows that. But I brought a mask and gloves as well because I was simply going to threaten him and take the prize.
So then what happened?
I was lying in wait. Stan went downstairs and when he returned, he was holding the blue butterfly. Oh, you should have seen how it sparkled. Magnificent. I was about to pounce when suddenly there was a rag put over my mouth that had a sweet smell. It was doused with chloroform.
Chloroform? Really?
It had to be. Everything went dark, and when I came to, Stan was dead. I searched his body, but whoever knocked me out took the blue butterfly with them.
So that seems to be that. They still have to find the killer, but apparently there's no connection with the deaths of poor Vera and Joe, and Sally just managed to get off scot-free after getting her revenge on the man who'd betrayed her mother. But Beckett notes something interesting about the evidence.
Well, it's kind of disappointing. I was really hoping that solving Stan's murder would give us some answers to what really happened to Joe and Vera.
Yeah, but we already know what really happened. Dempsey killed them both.
Well, that's the obvious version. But what about Sally? What's her part in all this? And why'd she hire Joe?
I guess we'll never know.
No, something else was going on. Something we're missing. Wearing T-strap shoes and a country suit. I could tell that redhead was a hick off the cuff.
Wait, what did you just say?
Well, that's just how Joe described her in his diary.
No, the part about the shoes?
T-strap. It's when the strap comes over the...
Yeah. Can I just call you back? Okay. Take a look at this photo. There's a shoe next to the car, and look at what kind of shoe it is.
That's a T-strap. You don't think...
If Vera was at the club that night, she'd be dressed in an elegant dress
and heels. This isn't Vera, this is Sally.
Yeah, but it can't be Sally. The bartender said that he saw her months after the murders. Unless...
He lied.
But if the official story is that Joe and Vera died in that car, and it's Sally instead, that means...
Oh, hello again. Hello, Vera.
And hello, Joe. Well, if it isn't Vera Mulqueen and Joe Flynn, back from the dead.
Everything all right, guys?
Everything's peachy. Thanks.
Frankie, what happened? Stan figured out the truth? That you two were alive? That you murdered two people so you could disappear with the blue butterfly? So you lured him to the club and then you shot him?
Lady, you got it all wrong. Stan cornered me at Betsy's funeral. Wanted to know how I knew her. So I lied. Told him I was a bartender.
Stan was clever. He was too clever. He figured us out. He came here demanding to know where the blue butterfly was. He threatened to expose us.
Like a dog after a bone. But we told him what he needed to know. We told him where it was. But we didn't kill him.
Oh, come on, you guys. We know it's you. You used the same gun from the 47 murders to kill Stan.
Same gun? Oh, he hid that gun in the...
China cabinet drawer.
Don't even think about it. Put the gun down.
Francis Benjamin Hunsaker, what have you done?
Wait a minute, Hunsaker? It was your mother who sold the diary to Stan.
What diary?
Your diary.
So you read it. And all this time you were looking for the necklace too.
That's why I got this crap job. And for 6 months, I slowly built trust, gently acquired information. And then that jerk just waltzes in here and bullies the location of the blue butterfly from you? Come on!
So when you realized it was now or never, you bushwhacked Stan, took the blue butterfly for yourself?
I brought their old 38 only as a precaution. I was just going to chloroform Stan and steal him.
But you found Clyde Velasco hiding behind the bar.
I pulled the gun. Stan grabbed for it. I didn't mean to.
Let's go, Frankie. You're under arrest. Hey, Castle, guess what we found at Frankie's apartment?
Oh my God. It's beautiful.
It's fake.
What?
We confirmed it with an appraiser. It's well-crafted costume jewelry.
All this time, and it's paste? That's... Or maybe it's a twist on a twist. Maybe the real blue butterfly was switched on for this one years ago.
Well, whatever happened, it doesn't change the facts. We still have one more case to close.
Well, they got the killer, and they got the butterfly. The fact that it's fake doesn't matter. It's what it represents that's important. But that still leaves one loose end. What really happened that fateful night, 1947?
It's time you come clean on what happened the evening of June 24th, 1947. The night you disappeared.
Tell him, Vera.
We were all huddled around the radio listening to the Sugar Ray Robinson, Jimmy Doyle prize fight. I was building up nerve to make my escape.
Slowly tired Jimmy Doyle throws a left, another left. He isn't shabby. Here comes Robinson. A left, a right, another left to the rib cage. Go ahead.
Moxie, I need a powder my nose.
Are you kidding me? Can I wait?
No.
What do you say, boss?
Stop.
Yeah, make it quick.
Now, crowd at the arena are on their collective feet. Robinson delivers a left, a right, a left again. Doyle punches back, misses by a mile.
Well, aren't you a picture?
Who are you?
I'm with her.
Put him up.
The guy was Sally's husband. She'd only hired Joe to get me away from Dempsey so she could exact her revenge.
Now you're gonna suffer, Vera, like my mother suffered.
Wait, Sal. Let me get the ice first.
Lenny! Joe!
We were hot as a pistol, and we had two bodies on our hands, and we had to do something. And Joe had the plan. No one would be looking for those two. We needed to disappear. Obviously, we didn't disappear far enough. So, are you going to arrest us?
Why would I do that? Sounds like self-defense. Besides, we're looking for a woman named Vera, not Viola. And a PI named Joe, not a former bartender named Jerry.
We don't know how to thank you. I do. Answer 2 questions. 1, if you had the blue butterfly, why didn't you take it? And 2, where has it been all this time?
Well, we were home free till Dollface here had herself an epiphany.
This thing really is cursed.
Here, that's just fancy. It rocks on a pretty roof.
No, it's more than that. It's misery, Joe. We can't.
I got no love for this thing. Just you. But I'll be damned if I let Dempsey get his hands back on it. Let the bastard spend the rest of his life not knowing his prized possession is right under his nose.
Cursed or not, did you ever consider going back for it?
You don't get it, Joe.
We got 4 children, 7 grandchildren, 2 great-grandchildren, and each other. What do we need a blue butterfly for?
Do you think we should have told Joe and Vera about the blue butterfly?
Oh, why ruin it for them? No, that's the stuff the dreams are made of.
Tell me you love me, Joe.
Always.
So that was Castle, the Blue Butterfly. And was it? Pretty good. It's a pretty good mystery, as is usual for this show. The flashback scenes are pretty fun. You can tell that the cast are having a great deal of enjoyment acting outside of their usual character tropes. Plus, we get to hear Lainey, the coroner, doing some pretty damn good singing. But the real star of the show is the blue butterfly itself, or rather, what it represents. Doesn't matter that it's fake. Hell, Dempsey probably could have sold off the diamonds one by one over the years to do things like buy the club. No, what it represented was possession. The idea of wealth, that Dempsey is this powerful mobster. He owns the club, got a lot of dealings in business, and his various girls over the years don't matter so long as they're the ones wearing the necklace. It's not ornamentation for them. It's noose around their necks to show that they belong to Dempsey. When basically the thing is cursed. I mean, two months after Joe and Vera supposedly died, Dempsey himself died. And Sally and her husband ended up dead because of their desire for the necklace as well. Wouldn't have if it was real or not. The point is, it was cursed because of what it represented. So I'd recommend this one if you're a fan of Castle or just a fan of film noir in general. I'm a critic. It says so on my door.
We got 4 children, 7 grandchildren, 2 great-grandchildren, and each other. What do we need a blue butterfly for?